My name is Jenny, and I'm from America, and I am married to my husband who is from Uganda. And if you would have asked me a couple of days ago, maybe it would be like 7 days ago, I would know very little about soccer. But since I'm married to a Ugandan who loves everything football, soccer, this is what I have learned in 2 days of watching football, aka soccer. Number one, it is hard to tell which team has which color and which team is which. But I will tell you that sometimes they have colors underneath here, and you can tell, like, I think this is the last game that we are watching today, and I think that this is Australia. And I think that this is Turkey. Right, the red is Turkey. So they play, and they play in two different halves for a long time. I just want to say they're very fit. They're very fit. They're very fit people. They run a lot. They use the whole field. There's no such thing as one side of the field. I don't know. They just like to pass the ball a lot. I personally would just shoot as many times as I could at the goal, but they like to pass it a lot. My husband says it's a tactical thing.
Game.
It's a tactical game. But I don't know. So they have these refs too, and sometimes they hold up cards. Yellow, it's probably like I would say if you would hit somebody in the face, but I've seen like 3 people hit each other in the face and they're still in the game. So I don't know what a red is, but I'm sure I'll figure that out. Oh, this is a commercial. The other thing I realized is there's a lot of things I don't know. Sometimes people kick the ball and I don't know who kicks which side of the ball or where it goes. You can't touch the ball. I know that from like when I was 5 and I was playing soccer. But like they pass the ball to the goalie a lot sometimes. That's a little interesting. I don't know why you pass the ball to the goalie when the goalie's supposed to be the one without the ball, because you're supposed to be scoring on the other side. But that's personally just one thing that I've seen. Overall, it's an interesting game. It's definitely an interesting game. I think there's a couple of things I've learned. Number one, the rest of the world cannot handle heat very well. A lot of people are taking water breaks. My husband says this is like a desert, and I guess now I understand, because the northern teams are sweating way too much. But I mean, I sweat too, and I'm in the Midwest. The other thing I realized is their cleats apparently they hurt a lot. Or people are just faking injuries. I don't know. My husband says that it's because the cleats are really spiky, like they have metal stakes in them, but that's a little dangerous. I don't know why people are having metal stakes. I do like this jersey. I like the American jerseys. Or what are they called? They're not jerseys. Are they jerseys? Okay. I like those. Those are cool. We need to get some of those. Yeah, overall, don't get hit with a cleat, I guess. That's important.
I love how as Americans we are so uninvested in soccer that we're basically just treating the World Cup like a reality show right now and watching it for the drama. Like, we started early with telling Europeans you absolutely cannot walk from this place to go and see the games, and they didn't listen to us until now they're over here and they're finding out that there's like a 12-lane highway in Houston or something. And then there's also plenty of people who came here a little bit early just to start eating American food and exploring American cities, and so now they're finding out that we have like the most ridiculous food in the world. That's why we're fat. But like, my favorite thing so far has been all of the hate watching and finding out how different countries that are really hated react to seeing this much hate. At least the African countries are like, have so much bravado that Morocco will literally just call you a monkey instead of even telling you that they're not racist. They will just actively be racist to you if you say you're not rooting for them. South Africa, obviously there's that whole thing. And yeah, they're just being like, Rick Sanchez about it. Your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer. But then Argentinians are like, why are you all calling us racist? And we're like, because everybody thinks you're racist. Even your Latin American brothers and sisters call you racist. We have all collectively decided to root against you. Meanwhile, because the US and Israel attacked Iran, the country that usually doesn't get that many cheers because they do human rights violations all the time, is actually like one of the darlings of the tournament. And the majority of people that I know are actively rooting for Mexico, not just because they are our neighbors, but because they actively want Mexico to be able to hold up the trophy and say F you to Donald Trump. So yeah, the World Cup reality show is actually quite entertaining. I would rather watch this than Love Island. If you have been seeing other things, please leave it in the comments so that I can follow along with that too. Before I get into this, if you are somehow keeping up with the World Cup, Love Island, and the Supreme Court decisions, I just want to know what your dose is. Drop it in the comments. There's no way you're doing that unmedicated. I didn't take any notes this time because I'm doing this at like 1 o'clock in the morning because I can't sleep. So here's the World Cup reality show as it stands right now for me. First things first, some of my favorite teams didn't even make it into the round of 32, and I'm pretty upset about that. The Scottish, Australian, and South Korean fans have been really, really fun to watch. So I hope that they just continue doing whatever the heck they were doing before and try to enjoy the rest of the tournament. Quick editor's note, the Australians actually did not get knocked out. They are currently in the round of 32, and they've brought all of their chants with them, including Aussie boys are on a bender, Donald Trump is a offender, as well as we're getting deported, which I guess was their way of saying like, oh, we're moving on to the next round in another city. That being said, I've heard that the Scottish really were making their way through the US, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, they've been passport broing it up over here because us ladies love an accent. I just want to remind you all that a half Scottish baby is how we got Donald Trump. So, you know, once again, wrap it up. Also, Haiti got knocked out, and then on top of that, the Supreme Court decided to cancel like TPS for them, which is kind of shitty. It's like they were having a great little moment, a great celebration, and then all of a sudden it's just boom, boom, 2 blows back to back. So if you're Haitian out there and you're feeling a little down this week, just know the rest of us still love you. In terms of players, shout out to everybody who told me that the US team actually has the son of a former Liberian president. There is no other team in this game who has the child of a former president playing for them. But what's even more fascinating that is that Timothy Weah's father, George Weah, also used to play professional soccer. He is literally the only African player to have ever won the Ballon d'Or, which is basically like an Oscar, but for soccer. Team Norway has low-key captured my heart a little bit because I love seeing them go everywhere in their orange shirts and just sit down and do the row thing, the little Viking thing when them banging the drums. I actually really, really love that. Thank you guys for taking over because Scotland is no longer here to entertain us. And they also have this player on their team named Erling Haaland, I believe. He is just like this 6'5" tank of a man. He looks like a Targaryen with that blonde hair, but he's like so funny and adorable. And I really, really love him and I want him to stick around. Also, people seem to be really, really excited that 9 out of the 10 African teams made it to the round of 32, or 10 out of 11 if you're counting France with the African teams. And if you don't understand that joke, I'm not being racist when I say that. I'm just being factual. Look at that team. They're blacker than me. Speaking of Africans, there were celebrations because South Africa got knocked out by Canada, literally in the first match of the round of 32. And then today, Brazil beat Japan, Morocco beat the Netherlands, and somehow Paraguay beat Germany. Apparently that was like a huge upset. People really thought that Germany had a shot this year because they're one of the top 10 ranked teams and Paraguay is like in the 40th or something like that. And I didn't watch the game, but it sounds like it came down to a really, really intense penalty kickoff where Paraguay somehow won. And this kind of is giving people a little bit of hope because Cape Verde was put up against Argentina, which obviously has Lionel Messi, who has won more Ballon d'Ors than any player in history. And people are kind of like complaining that they think FIFA is setting this whole thing up so that Argentina will probably make it to the end and most likely France will be the team that they're playing up against. So it'll basically be like Messi versus Mbappe. And I really, really do hope that somehow, some way, Cabo Verde can hold them off. But I'm also a realist and I will still be cheering for them regardless of how the game goes. And actually, speaking of Mbappe, I guess I just found out that people call him the dictator because he's kind of a weird guy and maybe potentially unlikable. Anyway, I think I'll finally pick a team and commit to the bit when it gets to like the round of 16. But I am having a lot more fun now watching that there's stakes because I couldn't really get behind the group games. Everybody was just playing to be playing and try to make it further. But now that people are getting eliminated, oh, there is drama on the field. The girls are looking sad and I'm really enjoying it. I'll be back next time I feel like it to talk about this a little bit more, but tell me whatever else you've been seeing in the comments. I'm loving all the World Cup drama.